Eli Manning in a bit of hot water. Eli Manning and the Giants are in the middle of a scandal.
Bogus. This is fake news as far as
They're
I'm
being
concerned.
sued for allegedly participating in a memorabilia fraud scheme. The two parties are being sued by memorabilia dealers who claim that the quarterback conspired to pass off non-game worn items as game-worn memorabilia to fulfill contractual obligations he had with Steiner Sports. The New York Post has details about the lawsuit, including a supposed smoking gun email from Manning, equipment manager in 2010. Why is it fake? It's actually happened.
No, because I read the email. It's fake. Well, it's an obvious spin. It's just he said whatever would pass as game used. That doesn't mean that it wasn't game used. Just make sure it's something that will pass.
It depends on your interpretation.
Exactly. My interpretation is that's fine. These guys are blood-sucking.
There's nothing fake about it. Everything in the story is real.
It's very fake.
Email is real?
The email, it's a fake interpretation, which is what fake news is all about. I'll educate you. Go ahead. Go ahead. It's a bogus story.
So passionate about Eli Manning.
No, it's a bogus story. It's a bogus lawsuit. I mean, he sent an email that said, I need 2 helmets.
It's your opinion, because I think you could interpret it quite easily that maybe it wasn't game used.
He said, I need 2 helmets that will pass for game used.
Right.
Which is obvious.
Well, it could be something used in practice that could pass as game used.
That could be your interpretation. Just make sure that that anybody would interpret them as game used.
You're 100% confident that the helmets that he got were used.
I'm 100% confident he wasn't trying to defraud anyone.
Are you 100% confident? This is the question.
Yeah.
Are you 100% confident that the helmets that he passed on were used by Eli Manning in a game?
I don't know what the equipment manager did.
So the answer is no.
I don't know what the equipment...
You won't answer it. It's a yes or no question that I'm asking you.
Well, because...
Are you 100% confident that the helmets passed on by Eli Manning were used by Eli Manning in a game?
I'm 100% confident.
Can you answer the question?
It doesn't matter.
No, can you answer the question?
I'm 100% confident.
The answer is no.
I'm 100% confident that he intended to give him game-used helmets.
Okay.
I'm 100% confident he intended to.
But the reality
I can't speak
is
to what the equipment manager gave him.
The reality is if Steiner Sports then passes it on to, Joe the fan who's buying a helmet, he might not actually have a game-worn helmet.
Fake lawsuit.
He may not be buying a game-worn helmet.
I'm standing up for that dumb Eli Manning. He said, I need 2 helmets. Just make sure that they're game used.
Bottom line is, he actually didn't say that. Did he say that, EB?
See, now
you're giving fake news.
He didn't say fake news.
If I shell out 1,000,
he didn't say give me something
that's game used.
He didn't say something that's game worn.
That doesn't mean they're not.
Agreed. You're on.
So I'm siding with him because I don't believe he would defraud anyone.
Don't make up something, which you just did. That was the fake news. He didn't say give me something game worn.
Stop passing fake news along.
He said, give me something that would pass for game worn.
Well, that's not game worn.
That doesn't mean it's not. Hold on. That doesn't mean it's not.
If I'm paying $1,000 for an Eli Manning game worn jersey or helmet, it better be the one that he wore in a game where somebody from the Redskins sacked him and smashed him into the turf.
Not something the equipment manager took from practice, scuffed it up, and said, "Here, you could pass.
You could wear a game worn helmet that has no scuffs, no nothing.
Agreed.
And you don't realize it's game worn. So he's just saying, listen, just make sure it's obvious it's freaking game worn. That's all.
He didn't say that, though.
I'm interpreting it that way. I know for a fact Eli Manning is not trying to defraud anyone.
Look, I don't think it's a big deal one way or other. I'm not a memorabilia guy.
Fake
but
lawsuit.
Don't say that he said, give me something that's game worn, because he didn't.
I know
he said, give me something that'll pass for game worn.
Right. In other words, make it sure it's obvious it's game worn. No, that's your interpretation. See, my interpretation was equally as valid. Mine is equally as valid.
But don't say he said, give me something game worn, because he didn't.
You're assuming the worst, and that's why it's fake news. I'm assuming
It's actually not fake. I'm giving you the facts of the case.
Your interpretation is...
I'm giving you the facts of the case.
You're giving me your interpretation.
What are the facts? There was an email that said something.
Listen, I know you think you're a fancy attorney. You've never tried one case in your life. You're no fancy attorney.
It's just because I got a job and I didn't have to. But I could have.
Okay. You've never tried one case in your life.
If we didn't have the Junkies, I would have. If you didn't have the Junkies, what would you be doing?
But that's a fact.
You would
have. The fact is you've never tried anything.
You've never tried one case. You have as much courtroom experience as me, Johnny Cochran.
I know what was in the email.
Slow down for a second.
That's actually false.
Your interpretation is that it's a negative spin on it. My interpretation is make sure it has some nicks on it so it's obvious it's game used. That's my interpretation.
Okay.
Yours is an evil one. Mine is a
it's
positive
actually not
one.
evil, and you
Sure
threw
it
in
is.
language that didn't exist.
Oh, no, I'm giving you...
You
I'm giving
threw
you
in language that didn't exist.
I'm giving you a positive spin on the same language.
How would you like to receive something that was passed on as game-worn?
Well, in other words, don't give me a game-worn helmet that has no nicks. I want a game-worn helmet that looks like it's effing game-worn.
I'm fine with a game-worn helmet with no nicks if it was actually worn in the game.
That's all.
That's fine with me. You need to authenticate that helmet that you're giving me as game-worn is game-worn.
They should have.
That's all I need.
Absolutely, they should have a letter of authenticity. Absolutely.
And hopefully it's not bogus.
But you're assuming that because he says it's passed for game-worn, that it wasn't. I'm assuming he wants one where it's obvious you see the nicks.
What I'm saying is I don't know.
Right. I'm saying it's fake, and Eli's not trying to defraud anybody.
I think if Eli sends an email that says
you are fake news,
make it pass as game-worn means take one that wasn't game-worn, make it kind of look like it was, and pass it off as game-worn.